And finally, we need to talk about this, Johnny. Of course, I know you guys have talked about it. Nycki's brought it up. But sad news, last night reported that one of the greatest baseball players to ever play the game passed away. All-time hit king Pete Rose died at the age of 83. Of course, he's remembered as much by his banishment from baseball due to gambling as much as the fact that he's one of the game's best ever. His 42-56 hits are the most ever. He played the most games, had the most at-bats. He played from 1963 to 1986. He won 3 batting titles, led the league in hits 7 times, Rookie of the Year in 1963, and a 17-time All-Star and the National League MVP in 1973. But remember, of course, in 1989, his destiny of going into the Hall of Fame shattered when he was found to have gambled on baseball games, including on his own team as a player and manager. And he accepted that lifetime ban from baseball from then-Commissioner Bart Giamatti. And soon after that, he spent several months in prison for tax evasion. He continued to try to get reinstated, but to no avail. But they did make an exception to the ban in 1999, allowing Rose to take the field as a member of Major League Baseball's all-century team at Turner Field. But I heard you talking about him, Johnny.
They treated him terrible. Like, to me, I'm like, see, because wasn't it, and maybe this isn't right, but didn't he bet on his own team to win?
So here's the blurry part on this, Johnny. Okay, so as we found the steroid era, right? If you're a dick, they're not going to put you in, okay? Because you're just sort of and he comes across as a red ass all the time, okay? Right. Just when he opens his mouth. And it might just be he's misunderstood and he's just like a robotic dude and he just has no charisma. But that's how he is. And so what ended up happening is he would not admit to betting at all until 2004 when he put out a book that then he made money saying, yes, I did bet. And then about another 5 years after that, then he admitted, well, I did bet on my team, but only to win. So then who knows what the truth is? I think the commissioners through the years have said he's pretty much a liar. So, like, I don't really care about him because if you go to the NBA now, Jonte Porter, who once played for the Tigers, who was in the NBA, and he's the guy you were talking about earlier that basically bet on himself to get pulled out of the game and faked an injury, had a friend bet on it for him, and then he got busted for that, and then he's banned from the NBA forever. So they still they still come down on this kind of stuff. But, I think Pete, to me, is like Pete had a pretty good life in terms of making money based on the fact that he was the martyr. I mean, I went and got my picture taken with him at the Caesar Forum shops. I got a baseball picture. That dude was pulling in. It was reported he was making 7 figures for many years in a row, just sitting and signing autographs inside various places in Vegas. And you saw him there.
Well, I'm a weirdo for underdogs. You know me. Like, I saw that dude turn and spit on his cardboard cutout, and I was like, I'm on Pete's side. For whatever reason, that's how I felt. I was like, and then I looked at Pete, though, and I thought maybe I'd say something, and he scowled at me, and I was like, nope, I ain't stopping. Like, that was the end of that.
I think that's his normal face. But, but when I went in there, I did talk to him about his brief little runs with WWE, because if you remember, WWE they made a celebrity wing of their fictional Hall of Fame by putting him in first.
That's right.
In the late 90s, he would come in during WrestleMania randomly, and for one time he was dressed like the San Diego Chicken, and another time he came in and just announced Kane, and Kane would come down, the brother of Undertaker. He would come down and just tombstone pile drive Pete Rose. So he would do fun stuff like that. But man, he made a lot of money, and I don't understand why people have so much hatred for him. Except baseball nerds, I should say, are very protective of their game more than other sports. So I guess they maybe the ones that spit on his cardboard cutout are just really into that. I don't know.
Or I sometimes think people just go with what they've been told. Pete Rose is a bad man. You have to hate him. So they're like, yeah, I hate Pete Rose. They don't really know why. But I mean, people, they forget, like Charlie Hustle. Mickey Mantle supposedly gave him that name at spring training.
Dude, you can't not say that he was one of the greatest baseball players of all time. I mean, he obviously was. The longevity alone puts him in a category second to none. But and he will. Dude, this is how this is. We've gone through the Buck O'Neill thing. They're going to put him in the Hall now as he died. This is what they did to Buck. They would put Buck in, and Buck never did anything wrong.
No, they treated Buck terribly. So that's the other reason I go against that organization and go,
I get that.
I saw what they did with Buck O'Neill, and they were just dicks. I mean, there's no other explanation. I don't know why you didn't love him. I don't know why anybody would have voted against him. Time and time again, he didn't get voted in, and he should have, by anybody's standards. And, I mean, just his goddamn, what he contributed to baseball after.
Ambassador. Just as an ambassador of the game, yeah.
I mean, and there couldn't have been a more lovable, genuine, charismatic human being to ever come out of Kansas City than Buck O'Neil.
And, we had a camera crew with Buck that whole day. The first time he was going to probably go in, everyone sort of assumed he was going to go in, and he did not. But that whole day, we're covering him, like, following him around, sort of the day in the life of Buck, doing everything with him. And when he did not get in, a very true Buck-like was, just sort of laughed it off and said, basically, oh, well, and it'll happen sometime, maybe not. But he just had a lust for life. And the thing is that he went through so many other things. Not getting in the Hall of Fame is probably pretty low on his list of hurdles he had to jump. But, I agree with that. Like, it's if you're going to compare a place that won't put in Buck O'Neil, I'm pretty sure Pete Rose will be put in now any moment. So it'll happen.
It's like Motorhead not being in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. There's just certain things you go, this whole thing is stupid.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Man. Yeah, it's too bad. At least he was a character. You know what I mean? Like, he was something to watch. The same way George Brett was. Back in the day, those guys that they were larger than life.
Iconic guy that gets thrown around a lot. But this dude, Pete Rose is one of there's only a short list of people that could sit in Las Vegas for, I don't know, 15 years and make millions of dollars just signing his name. And of course, he would have a sort of a smart-assy sense of humor with his, what he'd write on his baseballs, I'm sorry, I bet on baseball, Pete Rose, or I wish I had an interpreter like Shohei Ohtani did so I could get out of gambling, in trouble. He would write stuff like that on baseball, and this guy's at least having fun with it. It's hilarious. But, I don't know. It's sort of, I never think of Pete Rose. Pete Rose to me in my head is perennially 65, 70, so it's weird that he's 83 and he's dead. I saw, my friend just saw him about a month ago at a show in New York, and he got his picture taken with him. And now that I look back on that, because he posted it yesterday, I'm like, yeah, he does look pretty thin. He looks smaller, and maybe he was going through something. They have not said yet, but I don't know. But anyway, very iconic figure in all of our lives. But anyway, Johnny, that is Sports in Your Shorts for Tuesday. Remember, AEW Dynamite tomorrow night.
Yeah, Pete Rose with no Tony Khan.
I'm Chris Gough for the Johnny Dare Morning Show.
This is the Johnny Dare Morning Show.
The Johnny Dare Morning Show.